Welcome back, everyone, to Trend Lightly. I'm Tiffany Maddox. It is my birthday, and with me, of course, the Queen of Glendale is Moles.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Happy birthday, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Your birthday is technically May 1st. We're
Right.
recording this because you're about to go camping. If you guys listen to the show, you know that. I am so I do have a little birthday present for you, but I am so excited because you have put together this beautiful presentation that if you're on, I guess, our Patreon, you'll be able to see because we're recording video for this. I'm in my bed. Just
Wow.
Can we just address that? I wasn't kidding when I said that this is my podcast studio. But you've spent the last week putting together this beautiful presentation. I'm always blown away by your art, but
this is my Sistine Chapel, I reckon. It feels that way.
and of course I feel a little guilty because this is like your birthday celebration, but I had to do no work for this, which is wonderful.
It's my gift to you. My birthday gift to you.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because I don't even know if I could take on this daunting task myself.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of responses that people are confused about. They didn't think that I would be someone who would be like a birthday person to the level of extremes that I am. And I just want to I want to address some of the rumors. Like
Okay.
when I say I'm a birthday person, what I mean is the reason why it goes on for so long is because all of my friends are not in a singular group, right? But I want to do, and a lot of people want to do something with me, like, oh, I should take you out, or we should do this. So it ends up being this kind of scattergun week long thing, and it just always has been that way. And also, I did say I was a tyrant, but I'm really not. I want to, I want to gather people together in this really joyful way. So even though I realize I'm saying that as I've done a 20-page presentation about my favorite things on the internet, like I swear it's not like a narcissistic thing. I'm just as extra for other people's birthdays. I just love to celebrate humans, you know?
I know. I think it's what you're explaining in what I'm hearing is a lot like when you go to a therapist and you're like, I think I'm a narcissist. And they're like, if you were, you wouldn't say that. You wouldn't
Right.
even ask that question. And so you're like, oh, okay. I need to dial it back. I'm being too hard on myself. I'm probably not a narcissist. I'm just regular self-obsessed. And so I think that what you are, you're very lucky. This is a great time of year to have a birthday because there's no
Mm-hmm.
big holidays around it. It's sort of a slow time on the calendar anyway. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true of your country as
For
well?
sure. And it's pre-summer. So by the time we get into summer, everybody's got plans. Everybody's going away or taking holiday.
And I'm
June
January
weddings
10th.
too. Oh my
Everyone's
lord.
over celebrating by the time my birthday comes around. It's like we just did celebration for 3 weeks.
For
So
Jesus.
I also would say that maybe if I had a birthday that it made sense to be a birthday person, I would also be a birthday person.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think where your birthday falls probably influences that. Like my mum's birthday is the day after yours, and she's so not. But she loves making a big deal for my birthday, and she always has. I think she sort of lives vicariously through me in more ways than one, I'm sure. But there's this she'll always say, you always had the best birthdays as a child. And there's a picture of me. I think you can see it's the one that says me on the screen there, and it's me with a load of balloons, throwing my arms in the air with joy. That
So
was my
cute.
sixth birthday party, and it was at a pub, as all
Mm.
6-year-olds love to have parties at pubs. And my mum used it as an excuse to get all of her friends together in the pub, and we rented out the pub, and it was she just had a party, and I happened to be there, I think.
I think that that's great. I mean, the company of adults is kind of fantastic when you're a
Mm-hmm.
child. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you felt ripped off by that, but like say what you will about moms in general. A mom who's excited to celebrate your birthday like that is kind of great.
Yeah, for sure. And do you think you can tell when someone has spent a lot of time in their formative years in their childhood around adults? Because I think I can, because I
Y-
think there's a way, like, I don't know, there's a way of communicating. I think like people who spent time with grown-ups when they were younger are better at social situations in general. Like they just know how to converse.
I always spoke to adults like my peers when I was a
Yeah,
kid. Like I
same.
would, yeah, I would talk to them about like I knew the ways of life, and like I think I might have known more than some other kids, but I always was very, like when I would go to friends' houses for dinner, I like very much looked forward to like conversing with their parents openly.
Mm.
Like I was their peer at dinner. Like I would ask
Mm-hmm.
them questions about their lives that like I'm sure were not used to getting from kids. And yeah, but I don't know, there's something charmed about it. There's also something a little fucked up.
For sure. For sure. I mean, I've had to have therapy about this where I realize I can't like have, sometimes I can't have like real, pure, joyful fun because I feel like I'm just like far too mature for it. And I realized that if you see pictures of me at Disneyland, I look so miserable because I was like, I'm 35. Like, what am I
Yeah.
doing at Disneyland? But I was like 7, you know? And the biggest threat to me always, whenever I went on holiday, was that if I was misbehaving, my mum would say, if you misbehave, you're going to have to go to kids club. And I'd be like, I'll behave. Whatever.
Right.
Just don't make me speak to those little tiny idiots.
I could never relate to other kids in that way at
No.
all. I was always very confused by them. Like I remember my cousins and I used to fight like I mean it was the end of the world. Like every time we saw each other till I think I was about 12. And then when I'm the oldest. So when I reached 12, like something happened. It was like one Thanksgiving where we all got along, no one fought. But I was always very confused by like this kind of sibling dynamic and like how they just had, I don't know, they're just so rough and tumble and like so many of them are so strange and like more mature in some ways, but definitely stunted in other ways that mattered more to me. Where I was like you don't watch 2020, like you don't watch Dateline,
You know what's going
like
on in Kosovo?
right, like Murder She Wrote isn't like a must see TV show for you. And that's I don't know. I think that affects a lot of my personality. Also, having depression era grandparents that I was very very close with that practically raised me. Like you, there are certain things that are in me that like I recognize as traits I inherited from my grandparents. Like you know surviving the Great Depression, you know? But yeah, like definitely you're definitely saddled with a lot of responsibilities. I mean, I think it's called like a parentified adult as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
in some ways, like when you're the only child to like a single parent, like you are their other half.
Yes. Yeah, which I think has probably maybe as well formed my opinion on birthdays because if you're the only child, then that's, that's it. And maybe there are any children that aren't big birthday people because they've had to be the center of attention for their entire childhood. But for me, I quite like it.
No, my mom was always working on my birthday. So like typically we didn't even celebrate my birthday on my birthday. Like she was always like for some reason it was like as an adult I'm wondering like what was happening around like January 10th that was such a busy catering season for you. But she always worked pretty much through my birthday, which I'm not complaining about. I mean, she provided for me. But yeah, no, I remember like there was times where we celebrated my birthday in like March.
Mm.
So, yeah, cuz it was like when things were open again and when things were more
Yeah.
free. So, I don't know. But I want to watch your presentation.
Okay. So this was very difficult because, well, it just was. I mean, I feel like I will feel differently about the stuff that I put in here. It might be a different set of things even next year or even next week, but this is the best I could do. I wanted to just give a shout out to being a Taurus with a Scorpio rising and a Gemini moon, in case that's, important to some people to know.
Have we both talked about how we're both Gemini moons?
No.
Yeah, I'm a Capricorn, Aries moon, Gemini rising. Oh wait, no, psych. Oh, psych. I read that wrong. I never mind. I read that wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Scorpio
a Gemini rising. What does it mean To be
I
like,
don't
what
know.
does a Gemini moon show up for as you? Because I know that Aries, like, I know that moon in relation to me is like, I guess I show, like, that's the trait you show up
Emotions.
as in the world.
Yeah. I think it's like your more emotional self is your moon. So I think I'm probably more. I think it dictates my emotions a little bit more.
And then what's rising?
Good question. Let me check. I mean, this is based on CoStar, which we don't entirely trust, but Moon in Gemini, Moon's emotions, moods, and feelings. Moon in Gemini, meaning your emotional self is often restless and unsettled. You're extremely adaptable, which makes you feel pulled in many directions. Scorpio ascendant, so your ascendant is the mask you present to people. Some say it becomes less relevant as you get older. Your ascendant in Scorpio mean you come across as passionate, incisive, cunning, strategic, and perceptive, and tenacious drive.
That sounds like you. I mean, listen, I fuck with all of your big three. Those are all signs I like. I mean, everyone knows I just don't like Leos.
No
But I will
Leos.
say, do you think that being a Gemini rising is why my friend Duncan called me a two-faced bitch at Sizzler? Because like the waitress came by and like yes, I was complaining the whole time, but like to my friends, and when the waitress came by, I just was like, thank you so much, this is like amazing, because I didn't want to bring my shit into her life. Like, what was I gonna say? No, Sizzler sucks, honey, but like, thanks for trying your best. But like, maybe I am, that's like why. Okay, well, I'm open to the idea.
Yeah, we should find out how compatible we are on CoStar, because I mean it is good at that.
So
That's the
we
one
should
thing I
do
say.
like a couples, we should do a couples reading.
We so should. We so should.
I would love that.
I want to shout out. I made a playlist, which is available called Tiffany's Birthday Mix, which I chose 35 songs for my 35th birthday that define me. All bangers, all the time.
How much Grimes?
There's just one Grimes. I had
Oh
to
my
restrict my
gosh.
one Grimes. Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited. The first single you bought was Who's That Man?
It was Babylon Zoo Spaceman, which is one of the most unhinged first singles for a 9-year-old to buy. I've included a link to the performance on Top of the Pops, which was our Friday night watching, where you'd find out who was number one. Where Jimmy Savile famously used to work and abused many young women. It's hard to see it in the same light now.
Yeah. I know. That's like the guy. He did the thing with Louis Theroux, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like so fucked. That's like the original Jinx for to me, because I'm like, oh, we just like all this shit was coming out. It was yeah, it was haunting. If you
The
guys haven't
secret
seen that,
footage.
and what's his other show? Is it Weird Weekends?
Mm-hmm.
So fucking good. You guys must watch. Not just because he's from Tiffany's country, but because it's just beyond. I mean, yeah, it's beyond.
It's so good. It's good hangover watching. But yeah, I've
So
linked
how
to
does
it.
someone find you link to it? Okay, because
Mm-hmm.
I was very challenged looking for that playlist this week. So okay, thank you. So links for the olds and generally confused will be in the show notes.
Yeah. I would say it wouldn't be something you could just put on and play because it's so. To say it's eclectic is an understatement. We have like Deftones, Dolly Parton, a lot of hip hop, Grimes, of course, Grimes. I opened it with Grimes because I'm not, completely insane.
That seems like good getting ready music.
Yeah, yeah, it just sort of like gets you in the hype mood. A little bit of Megan Thee Stallion. It's a lot of Stevie Nicks. It's if you want to truly get to know me, that is the way to do it. I think through that Unhinged playlist.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a getting ready playlist. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but like you like to hit all the potential moods of the evening, I feel. Like you can mostly listen to just like empowering music, but I do love like a little bit of like it's getting me in my feelings thing when I'm getting ready because it makes me think like, okay, I'm going to look this good later tonight when I'm inevitably upset about something as an
Yes.
Aries moon.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I'm pumped. I'm going to listen. As soon as we're done, I'm going to download it.
Okay. So I want to also before we go into my favorites, I want to just shout out YouTube real quick because heaven knows it needs the love. So I used to make YouTube videos, and I was gonna find one of my old YouTube videos and play it, but my God, they're so long. They're just so long.
I'm glad that you said that instead of like cringe or one of those other things that people do to sell out their younger self when like, yeah, you should have so much compassion when you're looking
Mm-hmm.
at a video of yourself from like 15 years ago. Like, what did that idiot know? What did he
Yes.
know?
Yeah. I'd say, I think so I made a little compendium of stuff from about when I was turning 20 and around about that year. So 20 to 21 and like the little, and then a few years after. So maybe like 20 to 23, just to see a little glimpse into early YouTube Tiffany. And I also realized when I set it to music, it looks like an memorial video. So if I die,
I
then
love
it's
that.
ready made.
Perfect. I think everyone should be in control. Like, guys, announce your casket picture.
Mm-hmm.
Announce, like, I know there's like rules for my funeral. That's like sort of like a, that was viral on TikTok a while ago. And it always seems to come back. But I think that you at least need to make sure that people are on the same page about your photo.
Same as if you ever go missing. I think it's good to define that quite early on.
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But like for those of you who aren't doing math at home, Tiffany was like, I mean, God, you were like early YouTube kind of.
Super early. Super, super early. Yeah, so it would have been. I remember making a video. I started making videos when I was 19, and I'm going to be 35 this year. So it was way
Was
back
it
when.
still like that tender time where you were a freak if you posted a video of yourself to the internet?
Yeah, everyone thought I was the biggest fucking loser. And no one was really watching. I think I used to record using my little laptop camera. So when I would make stuff that wasn't all in one place, vlog style, I would have to go and set my laptop up to record. And then I think I got a camera for a birthday gift. So I started being able to like vlog out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I think and then it just kind of fell off the map. But I owe it my husband. I also found a clip that I put in this of me talking about how I've got a crush on him and I'm like 20 years old, which is
Oh
so
my
cute.
God. I love
Um,
that. Oh, I can't wait to watch.
okay, I'm going to hit play. But also I owe it my career. Like I remember being like 19, 20, being like, I wish I could make YouTube videos for a living. And then I won a Cannes Lion for something that was essentially on YouTube. Like when I was like 26.
I don't even know if you've told me that.
That was
I
there's a
wonder.
picture in here, which is the night I found out that the film that we'd made had won.
I can't wait.
So yeah.
Feel like I'm going to learn a lot about you that for some reason, even though we talk all the time, we just haven't gotten to yet. So I'm
Oh,
so excited.
I'm so excited to share. Okay, are you ready for this nonsense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have to play. You can play. Is it playing? Wait.
It hasn't switched slides for me yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I've just looked at all the footage that I filmed for this so-called video blog, and it's incomprehensible. It doesn't make any sense. It's just noises. Anyway, so it's my birthday on Thursday. I'm gonna be 21, and I'm kind of shitting myself. Even though I'm excited, I'm still kind of shitting myself. Oh god, oh my god, oh my god.
I was a little baby.
You're a lunatic salad eater
Hello
too.
YouTube, I have a crush on Billy Loves Margot. I'm sure he already knows that, but I just wanted to tell him and you again.
Honey, I loved that. How cute are you?
I know.
You were so little. I'm blown away. That's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
It's yeah.
I appreciate it because you should be writing a little love letter to yourself. Look at all the stuff you've done in your life and all the phases. When you were in the sunglasses, were you drunk?
Yeah, I was. I was drunk in the morning. Yeah.
So, because you could start drinking at 18 there, right?
Yeah. And
So it was like
actually,
also
very
legal.
relaxed. So I think I was going to. I had a friend who had big boobs and was tall. So there were certain pubs that we could go to, that like we would go, and there was they would do a deal. It was called beer and a burger, and they'd give you like a pint and a burger and fries for £5, and
That's
that was
incredible.
my shit.
That's incredible. That's how they got us too, because you'd be like, "Oh, I just got all this for $5. I'll buy 12 more drinks."
Yeah.
Because like I don't know anyone who ever went to a college type deal like that and didn't spend like $100. Like,
Yeah.
that is so cute. That's so cute, and also it makes me really want to visit your country.
Oh, come to my country. I'll show you a good time.
Some of those like moments, I was like, some of the more, there was a couple scenic moments in there. Enjoyed it very much. I'm gonna start partaking
In the scenery. Yeah. I wanted to root us in a time and a place, you know?
I meant the devil's lettuce, but yes, also.
Oh, that too. Yeah. But I too am a lunatic salad eater. So this was actually really hard to put this together. It really did feel like Sophie's choice, because I was like, how do I get my favorite shit? Because there's just so much that I love from the internet. So this is not exhaustive by any stretch, but it is like a good, I don't know, it's like a good intro, I think.
Okay.
To stuff. So right off the bat, I'm gonna contextualize us with some more pictures of me. I forgot that was in there. And start with a
You
video
were a
that was
blonde
also nice.
baby.
Yeah, I was. Isn't that wild?
That is why I was a blonde baby too, but like I would have never expected that from you.
No, it was a very strange little moment in my childhood, because I was born with very dark hair and very dark eyes, and then at some point I went a little bit blonde, and then I went obviously into full juggalette mode.
The chemicals, like it's probably just like literally in the food we ate growing up in the water.
So I'm gonna play a video for us.
Okay.
That, while strictly speaking, probably is not internet because it comes from something else. It is something I think about several times a day.
Good morning, Paul. What will your first sequence of the day be?
Computer load up, celery man, please.
Yes, Paul.
Could you kick up the 43D 3D3?
4D3 engaged. Add sequence oyster.
Give me a printout of Oyster smiling.
Okay.
Computer,
Yes.
do we have any news sequences?
I have a beta sequence I've been working on. Would you like to see it?
All right.
Okay.
Hey, Paul, I'm Tane, your latest dancer. I can't wait to entertain you.
Now, Tane I can get into. Could I see a hat wobble?
Yes.
And a flargon snout?
Yes.
Is there any way to generate a nude Tane?
Not computing. Please repeat.
Nude Tane.
This is not suitable for work. Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh! I'm okay.
Excuse me, Paul. Your wife is on the phone. It's an emergency.
I'll get it later. We have important work to do.
So that was Salaryman from Tim and Eric with our hero Paul Rudd, who I am kind of obsessed with.
I can't believe first of all, I can't believe I've never seen that, because everything about the people I know and whatever would say that I would have watched something like that. But I've never seen that before. For our listeners, it's like Paul Rudd in a, I don't know, he's like in a free floating virtual world, going to a computer and like checking on his characters. What would
yeah,
you,
like
what would
his
you say there?
avatars, I guess, like these sort of robotic avatars that he gets to do sequences, including dancing for him.
But he's also all the avatars.
Yeah.
It's I loved this. This was I honestly was, I like couldn't have, I didn't know what I was expecting the whole time, which now it makes sense. It's like a Tim and Eric thing. But like I was really lost, really enjoying it though. I was wondering almost if it was like a commercial from your country.
It's so bizarre. The thing is, I'd never seen it like in the context of the Tim and Eric show, and I remember being sent this video from a friend of mine, and he was like, you have to watch this. And it lodged itself somewhere in my brain so deep that there are people that I know, you know, when you just have like shorthand with people. There's like one of my best friends who I work with for many years. Like, I would print out little pictures of Oyster smiling and stick them to his computer and call him Celery Man. So
That is one thing I miss about working in like a corporate environment or whatever, is like you're really just in there with the most random people.
yeah,
Like
for
the most
sure.
random people, and they become your best friends, you know? I love
Yeah.
that. There's no bond like that because you really are stuck there.
Yeah, for sure. And you have to find these like moments of lightness.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you had that. Sorry, I am a little stoned now, which does not mean, I mean, I'm going to be on. But you also didn't know what I was expecting. So what's this next thing?
So the next thing is the girls are fighting again, is what I've called it. And I don't know if you've ever seen this, but because I sort of struggled with, because I realized how much of what I love on the internet is so abstract a lot of the time. Like, I really enjoy like a very visual joke or something that you just have to be so there's so much lore around it, like that you have to know 15 things for one thing to be extremely funny to you, and then
Yeah.
you can just like never explain why it's so, like, it just never registers why it's so funny. So I've been trying to find stuff that's like deeply standalone. And another video that I will continue, like I will defend to my last breath as one of the funniest things, is a dramatic reading of two people fighting in the One Direction comment section about Harry Styles being gay.
Perfect. I'm going to love this.
I don't know if you've ever seen this, but I also love the idea that they've got these really dignified actors to essentially read the deranged world, like words of teenage girls.
What was this produced for? Who made this?
It was like a British company called Dead Parrot.
Okay.
And they made this very dramatic kind of black and white, very like these brilliant, very deep voiced actors. And the first line is, "I have proof that Harry is gay." And sometimes I will just say that to a friend of mine, and it's like, it's everything.
This is speaking to my soul already. I mean, you know how I am. I love my fanfic. I love my fans. Like, I love people who are fans. I'm so excited for this. Please bring me to that point in my life. Like, I need to be there now.
Right. I'm going to hit play.
I have proof that Harry's gay.
You're a shit-faced liar.
Brilliant. Here we go. Instant insult.
Maybe don't be such of a bitch.
I wasn't being a bitch. I was telling the truth. Harry's gay, and I know it.
You're just a direction hater. You have a picture of Harry, but you don't really love him. Not like real directioners do. So why don't you just go and die under a tree?
Are you serious? If ever I saw a direction hater, it's someone who was once a believer before when they chose their name, and who now want whatever the big thing is. Go eat a shit.
I'll eat a shit after you tell me what your proof is that Harry is gay. You can't be a Harry girl and have a picture of Harry and think that Harry is gay. You're just a hater. And obviously not a Christian either.
No, well, you can't be a directioner with a name like Gillian Loves the Beebs. Are you serious? You don't even have a picture of Harry, so fuck you.
Newsflash. You can love Harry and Justin. It's not a crime, okay? Also, it's so blatant that you don't have any proof. Otherwise, you'd have already said it instead of being a bitch. Got nothing to say. Is that because you're lying? And an attention whore like all haters?
I have a pic on my Twitter of Harry that proves he was gay, but I'm not going to say my Twitter because you're being so disgusting.
Seriously. Fuck off! I'm done.
Just because you can't accept that he'll never want you because you've got no dick.
Oh my God. That was gorgeous.
It's perfection.
Do you think that they really did have proof on their Twitter, or do you think
No.
that that was just a bluff?
I think it was a bluff.
Yeah, I mean, it was convenient for sure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if Harry is gay, that's fine.
Yeah, what's the problem?
Yeah, who cares, Like, I feel like she's not a real directioner.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My favorite thing is go eat a shit.
Go eat a shit is great. How old do you think they were? Because the other person said confidently, like, you picked Justin Bieber as a name before One Direction. And I was like, these girls must be like 12, like just old enough to make a YouTube account, like as if their YouTube account almost definitely started earlier that year.
11 to 13 is the window for that behavior, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder where they are today.
I would love to know where Gillian Loves the Beebs is.
And also, like, that's the kind of thing that I believe you should stand by. Like, I would, if I found out they were embarrassed about that, I would be so bummed for them, because I'm like, no, it's kind of like iconic behavior. Like, it's so like anyone who has like a cultural richness to them has an experience like that in their past.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I have proof that Harry is gay sends me into the fucking stratosphere every single time. And whenever I see Harry Styles, that plays in my mind on a loop. Like, it's like rent free in my mind.
He's definitely seen that video, right?
He has to have seen that video.
How many views does it have?
Do you know what? It's got a couple of million, but it's not astronomical. It feels quite niche still.
Yeah, I feel like celebs actually, there's definitely some celebs who like stalk anyone who's mentioning that, like Kim. I feel like all the Kardashians are definitely like that. But yeah, I can't believe that that's not more viral.
I
or
know.
What didn't have like a moment, Guys, go make it viral, honey.
It's ready for its second resurgence. I'm so glad that I'm showing you stuff you've never seen.
Oh yeah,
it's really hard because you are on the internet all the time.
But we do have slightly different internets,
That's true.
And like, I think you might be more. I didn't really even get into YouTube until like watching it. Outside of like little things here and there, like sure, if a video happened to be on the platform YouTube, I would watch it. But I don't think I really even got into all of that, like all of that until maybe 2015. And then I started to find like all the really insane, just over the top people. And that's when I was like, okay, there's a human drama playing out here. There's many humans dramas playing out here. Like that's that's fascinating. And so I started to feel differently about it, but there's a lot of YouTube that I probably missed.
Yeah, there's it's really funny you say we're on different internets, because there's so much lore. Like there was a whole subset of like British YouTubers who had a huge scandal. Like one by one, there was like sexual assault scandal after sexual assault scandal. And it felt almost like quite, I don't know, contained in a lot of ways. Like it didn't really reach outside the people who were immediately into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've said this to you. I feel like you guys have a totally different online celebrity life over there. Like the Saccone Jolies, is that their name?
The Coney Jollies.
Yeah, like literally, I actually am still, I've been thinking about it all week where I'm like, I cannot believe that was your channel name. Like, sometimes it's corny when they like make up, like the Ace family or whatever, right? But at the same time, Saccone Jolies is the worst fucking name I have ever heard for a YouTube channel. Like, if I was him, forget the stuff where it's like, oh, you're, potentially exploiting your trans child. Forget that if you can. And just concentrate on the fact that, like, how bad you'd want to nuke your YouTube if those were the... Saccone Jolies. Guys, it's the worst name I've ever heard. I have no other investment in that, but even just like having found out that story, it's taken up a lot of space.
That is, after all, their biggest crime, is not being SEO friendly.
Not even SEO friendly, but like friendly to the ear.
Friendly to the
ear.
Like,
it's like you can't walk around and just like, if you walk around saying that, people are going to think you're insane. Like, how could you ever pitch someone on this channel you really enjoy?
Yeah.
Like, if that's the name of it, like, people are like, what? Sarconi? What, but like, how do I spell that? Like, and they're both like, one's an Italian name, so you'd have to assume that someone has at least like a background on the Romance languages to even like guess how you would write that. But Jolie is like Joly, like, and there's no apostrophe or like anything. It's very strange to me. So yeah, but you did a great job telling that story last week. I really do. I like loved that you did that, and please do. Bring us more into your country, because I know Bulgaria. If you have any tea on Bulgarian families, let me know.
Absolutely. We're going to do a whole series, I'm sure. If there are Bulgarian bloggers, we can do a deep dive. What is the last thing in this section? Oh, a Reddit post, which I'm calling That Was a Mistake. Do you want to read this for the first time? Or should I read it?
You should read it, because then I can react. Because I already am nervous about my partial blindness. So
I'm happy to read it. Okay. So this was posted in the Today I Fucked Up forum about 6 years ago by Defenestrate Me Now, which is a hilarious name and also expertly chosen given what the context of the story is.
What does that first word mean?
Defenestrate. It's to throw someone out of a window.
I didn't know that.
It's one of my favorite words.
Yeah, that's a great word. Okay.
Last night, my wife's boss from her brand new job invited us over for dinner. On the drive over, my wife reiterated many times just how important it was to make a good impression. I scoffed and arrogantly informed my silly wife that I always make good impressions. My wife's boss is a single lady in her 50s, so it was just the three of us. We chit-chatted over drinks and salads and seemed to be hitting it off. She laughed at my well-timed, perfectly appropriate jokes, and my wife seemed pleased. Soon, she brought out the main course, a nice big juicy steak for each of us. And as I began to cut my steak, I was discouraged to discover how undercooked this steak was. Now, I've had my fair share of rare steak. I prefer medium, but I can handle rare. This was several minutes on a hot grill short of rare. I probably could have resuscitated the cow had I tried. Instead, I sat there fidgeting with my knife and fork, worrying about how I was going to get away with not eating this steak. Claim veganism? No, I'd already feigned great enthusiasm upon seeing the steak. Just then, our hostess excused herself to the kitchen to take care of some dessert preparations. As I looked across the fancy dining room table at the open window of this third-story apartment, a cartoon light bulb appeared over my head. I knew I had to be decisive. Realizing that she could return at any moment, I committed. I grabbed the steak with my hand, gently shook off the juice, and executed a perfect throw right through the center of an open window. Here's the big-time fuck-up. The window wasn't open. It was the cleanest fucking window you've ever seen in your life. That is, until my mostly raw slab of steak slammed up against it and slowly slid down, leaving a trail of bloody juice in its wake. My wife, whose steak was a nice medium rare and unaware of this predicament, turned, jaw-dropped, and stared at me like I was an alien from another planet. This look slowly morphed into "there is a no place on this planet you can ever hide from me" expression of anger. My wife's boss heard the thud of the steak on the window and came quickly. She took in the scene. The steak sitting on the windowsill, the blood trail, my empty plate, and then just gave me an inquisitive, puzzled look. I didn't know what to say. It felt like a minute of silence, but was probably 3 or 4 seconds. Finally, the best I could manage was, I'm so sorry. I'm such a klutz. I don't know. I was just cutting it and it slipped. Just ask my wife. I really am a klutz, right, honey? I will clean this up. I can't believe this.
Oh my God.
It's deranged behavior. She stared at me like I'd escaped from a loony bin. I smeared the blood around the window with my cloth napkin. I dusted off the steak and continued to mutter my incoherent explanation. I knew no one was buying the story. I knew what I had to do. I sheepishly returned to my seat and proceeded to eat every bite of that disgusting, cold, chewy, bloody, raw steak. I remained pretty quiet the rest of the evening. My wife's only 2 words to me since the incident have been, "I'm fine." TLDR, tried to throw my undercooked steak out of an open window, only to find it wasn't open.
Okay. There's almost no way that this is real. But I'm like, okay, I think it probably was a prime rib, right? So his wife got this, like, well-cooked piece or, medium cooked piece. And then he gets, as you get into it, there is an assumption that men like their shit raw. No, I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? I'm saying that, like, they like their meat very undercooked. It's like men take pride in, like, being able to order a steak blue, where it's like, that actually truthfully does probably have a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Here's some descriptive things that I wonder if maybe he's a little bit overzealous with his writing, or for sure makes it fake. So one, like, if you threw a slab of prime rib at nearly any window, it's not going to have suction. It's not going to slide down a window. It's going to bounce because, like, I'm assuming she served at least, a certain poundage, right? Like, she was giving everyone probably, like, a nice thick piece of steak. That would hit the window and is weighty enough. Plus, if it's full of liquid, why would it would hit the window and, like, fall immediately off. But while prime rib is juicy, it's not enough to create any sort of, like, I don't know, like, the right amount of, like, suction to, like, keep it to a window. But then he said his, wife's boss was, like, went into the kitchen to deal with some, like, odds and ends or whatever. But the steak wouldn't be cold by the time it hit the window. I mean, this is like I can't imagine it can't have been more than, like, 4 minutes in between when Because it seems like this boss like is very proud of her entertaining skills.
Yeah.
So I would imagine she wouldn't think it's polite to leave 2 guests at dinner for like upwards of 4 minutes.
Yeah, because she's got to let it rest, but that's
Plus, if it was a whole prime rib, wouldn't she just cut him another piece? I mean, like, just because he's a klutz doesn't mean that he has to eat like floor steak. Like any normal person would just cut another piece, right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
maybe I would be less generous on the cut or something. Maybe she was feeding some sort of like catering staff and like said like take the rest of the prime rib. But no, I love the post. I love the story. What do you think it is? How real do you think it is? Do you think he's like a little bit like of a exaggerator?
I
Or
think
do you
he's
think
been doing some embellishing for sure. But the weird thing is, like, the visual of throwing a steak at a window with no context is just so immediately funny to me. And I've seen a lot of people who fucked up using open windows before. There was a story that went viral in my country, and in fact in my city of Bristol, of a woman who went on a Tinder date and did a really big poo and tried to throw it out of a window but got stuck. She got stuck trying to retrieve the poo that had fallen in this really awkward place through a bathroom window, and the fire brigade had to come and retrieve her from the open window. I feel like it's possible.
that is a source of like so many great stories about women, which makes me so happy and also sad.
Yeah.
Which is like I took a shit at my crush's house and I clogged the toilet, so I just like it's always something like that, and it's like what a bummer. Like cuz I've never seen like 90% of men are so okay like going to the bathroom whenever, not giving a shit. Literally, no, like not giving a shit about giving a shit. Just like absolutely unfazed, will tell you anything, like to the point where it's like, do you think I'm your mom or am I your doctor? What's going on? Yeah. But women, they're so and this is not like a brilliant or obvious point, but like it's kind of crazy how many of our like big stories that we all sort of like pass around like urban legends have to do with someone like in an unfortunate plumbing situation.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was that Twitter thread, wasn't there, about that woman who had put her shit in her handbag?
That's crazy. I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
What
she,
happened?
Like, wrapped it in toilet roll and stuck it in her handbag. And I don't know what happened after that, but I know that it was in her bag.
Why did she feel she had to do that? Was the toilet clogged?
Yeah. And there was nowhere to dispatch it.
So that's the other thing too. It's like it's always these men with like clogged toilets, and like that's like another way the patriarchy just holds us the fuck down, because it's like they don't give a shit. Like their life doesn't, like they'll like find a bathroom. It's not a big deal. Like their toilet can be clogged. It doesn't matter if they've learned that lesson about their pipes before. They're just gonna keep like shoving way too much toilet paper down there. Mm-hmm. It's what they're gonna do. And then women wind up in these precarious situations where, I mean, that's wild that she thought she could. I mean, that's insane that she thought she could get away with leaving a shit in her bag. I would lie and be like, I'm gonna like I'm having a little bit of anxiety and I just need to go for a walk around the neighborhood right now. Like that's how I would probably handle something like that. That would be my creative solution, where it's like, no, I just need like 5 minutes by myself. Like, which is like, actually, no, that's not like a good signifier of like being in a great mental health place. But maybe it is, maybe to some, people that could be appreciated, where they're like, oh, this person like has figured out their coping mechanism. I don't know, but yeah, I will be thinking about that Reddit story for a very long time.
Well, I mean, what I could do is next time I make a steak, I might make an extra one and then myth bust it. Like throw it at the window, see what the response is.
Yeah. I would love to see that, and I would love to know the temperature, like how warm it stays. Like, because she walks in likely 30 seconds after he throws the steak, and now the steak is cold. Like, also, why wouldn't the host be eating her plate of food? Like, you're telling me these two guests started before the host sat down at the table?
Yeah, she was dessert prepping.
That's like not.
You would wait.
That's not
right?
how it works. Like, what?
Yeah.
Because, like, what are they supposed to do? Like, eat when she's not there? Like, that's rude. I mean, unless they're like, go ahead, start without me. But, like, you expect that from, like, a friend's mom. You don't expect that from this boss. I don't know. I feel like you should have just leveled with her.
Yeah, for sure. Don't throw food out the window.
But the way he's talking about his wife, too, I didn't like that either. Because, like, I'm like, what do you guys actually have in common? Like, it felt like it felt Larry David to me, which, I love LD. Yeah. But it's like, this is this bizarre logic that, I don't know. I hope that guy worked on the most recent seasons of Curb. That would be, like, a wonderful arc for him.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Well made, as always.
Thanks, babe.
I'm going to go all the way back to the old school for You Make Me Touch Your Hands for Stupid Reasons, which was a breakup letter that was posted and I think remixed on You're the Man Now Dog, which, like, R.I.P. in peace, was a site where you could remix stuff. Do you remember this?
I do remember You're the Man Now Dog. It'll probably click once I hear it, but... I have a lot of PTSD, babe. Like,
yeah,
things don't stick well, but, like, you could probably reawaken me.
Well, I feel like this definitely did the rounds, like, when I was like very first on the internet. So I wanted to choose something from, like, when I was maybe early 20s, something that was put on YouTube and then just sort of gained a level of infamy.
Okay.
And it has the incredible line, "Dear loser, Chris."
Okay.
And it's a breakup letter, which is clearly by, I would say, someone who's quite young, maybe a tween girl, that's read by a man who's holding back the tears, trying not to laugh.
And now, a dramatic reading of a real breakup letter from a real person. Dear loser, Chris. I thought you liked me. You said it yourself. I hate you. People only say you asked me out because you needed a date for the dance and that after the dance you would dump me. Well, guess what, bastard? I dumped you because you were thinking that I cheated on you. I didn't, so like idiots that you guys are and so smart that you are, you called me a slut. I hung up on you 'cause you told me it on the phone because I guess you weren't man enough to tell me it in my face. I hate you, and also, guess what? My mother hates you too, that she the one who put me up to this. You come to breakfast every morning, and I ain't stupid. You try to sit next to me, and my lil bro, who only 7 years old, hates you too, and don't even know what you did, and is always blocking your chair. Ha ha! I went out with another boy after you, and after we were over, you an idiot dad, you even tried to ask me out again. I didn't break up with him for you, okay? I hate you. I've always hated you, spreading to everyone that I cheated on you when you just got jealous that I used to talk to your friends. To your so G-louse, you automatically think I like them. Well, guess maybe I do, maybe I don't. Got a problem, you ain't my boyfriend anymore. I don't have to tell you who I like or who I am with and why. Got it, I don't like you anymore. The other day you told me that I have to tell you who I like or who I am thinking of going out with. It's none of your business. Got that, you loser? I hate you, and I know you still like me, but I don't like you. I don't care what your stupid friends say. You make me touch your hands for stupid reasons. You accidentally say you hugged me. I will never like you again. I hate you. I hate you more than anything in this damn world. I'd rather date a spider or a rat than you were so ugly and fat. And then saying that I loved you, please see. You're such an ass-wiping bastard. I hate you. Well, bye, you piece of shit. I have more things to do right now than remember you.
I absolutely remember that now that you mention. Okay, now that you mention it, I actually would wager that this girl's 15.
I kind of live for this roast. Like, I definitely think that Chris is a loser who's touching her hands for stupid reasons, and I believe that she would rather date a spider than him.
There's a lot of passion here. It's very youthful passion. It's the spider maybe, you're right. The spider maybe suggests that she's younger.
Yeah.
But because like by 15 you'd be like mentioning, you'd be like R. Kelly or something. You know what I mean? Where do you think that this letter came from?
I'm not sure. I didn't spend a lot of time on You're the Man Now, Dog, but the thing was, right, it was kind of remixing stuff, like taking stuff and like evolving it and remixing. And I think like at its core, some of the funniest shit to me is like something that goes on and has a life beyond its original format. And this was like, I think probably my first experience of like the memification of something where it like takes on its new life. Like it just becomes something bigger, better, and more like, I don't know, like the community crowdsourcing of like humor is so delightful. It's like delicious. And I don't think I'd ever seen that before. It was always like a thing.
People didn't shit post back then either, so like the things that you would find, like these nuggets like this, there was some genuine effort put in. I will say that I think emails, now that you're saying this, I remember like really intense emails would go viral a lot, in a way that is different from today. But like this is something that would have been an early meme. Before maybe even this You're the Man Now dog thing. Like it's like this is probably being passed around. But like there was so much more intention. Like I don't think there's many things that are this genuinely like organic anymore. Because everyone is more aware of like what they're sending in an email or like even putting on their Tinder profile, because that's sort of maybe a more like common roast. Or even with misconnections, like there's probably very few people who write them purely not even remotely aware that like a lot of people could potentially see it. But back then it was like you were always just hoping to reach like an audience of a few that were really passionate about it and like thought you put out a good thing. Like it was, that concept of going viral wasn't the same now. And I don't know if we get things like this anymore.
There is nothing funnier to me than something that was never intended for a larger audience.
Yeah.
Because it has a purity and an authenticity to it. And I think you can tell now, like, that, and we've kind of talked maybe about this on text, but the people, or I think we've been sending videos about, celebrities trying to create viral sounds on TikTok. It's like, that's the aspiration. And, like, the joy of it all is, like, the joy of whilst it's, like, it's really uncomfortable because it's, like, roasting Julia Fox, but the reason why Uncut Jams is because it was never intended to be a viral sound. It was like it came from a place of like she was just speaking. Like
Yeah, I mean, well, celebrities in general are not the people. I mean, yes, like there's a huge audience for that. Like, obviously, like, James Corden videos are like, top ranked. And like, there's, lots of videos of like, celebrities that go viral that are the kind of thing that People magazine writes about. But like, for the most part, we don't want to see celebrities online. We want to see people who write emails like this.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking, I think the internet, like, is where people go to seek humanity.
Yes, that's such a beautiful point.
And so when you see a celebrity there, it's like, you're not supposed to have access to this. Like, this is for us, like the fucking randoms,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And when celebrities do something which is unpolished or candid or, off guard, then I think it often has that. That's when we're sort of interested. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're just like, it is like celebrities, they're just like us. But it's like at the moment I'm obsessed with, and I could write a thesis on like Madonna's TikTok, because I'm like, is this intentional? Is this intentional? Is this a strategy? Like, is this chaotic strategy? Or is this someone who's like, thinks they get it and they don't get it, but somehow they're getting it? Like, it's so fascinating.
I will say that, like, no matter how it is, it doesn't matter. Because it's Madonna, like she can do whatever she wants, really. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I think that Madonna has made many smart statements over the years. However, I don't know that she has ever been fully in on her bit. And I think that people who love her and like want to point out that maybe she's inspired by like a religion she's been studying or whatever. Like, there's this appraisal that she gets that's a little bit more no, she's very smart, she's very intentional, she's like, none of this is a coincidence or whatever. I don't know, I feel that way.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like it could be, I think it falls for me in a space that's like, there's something intentional, but it's not the thing that we think it is. Like, there's an intent to make content, right? And there's like, oh, I'm trying to understand this platform, like TikTok, for example. But it's like, oh, I think you're doing it wrong, but you're kind of accidentally doing it right in this strange way.
Yeah, like with Britney, for example, like you can tell she just really hasn't ever done social media in a real way. So like, she's like genuinely exploring it through her millennial lens or whatever. I do hate the idea though of like because like what you're describing is very real. And I think that it's what makes me cringe when I see celebrities often on the internet, which is that they're not in on the joke.
Right.
And that's like hard to watch, especially like, listen, there's plenty of rumors that like actors fancy themselves like big improvers and people who can do that, but like their job is to like read lines and like to be a person like that. Like there's like, you never seen an interview Mariska Hargitay. And she's one of the biggest, like you see her once in a while. Like I think she did a little press run for season 20 or something.
Maloney came back.
It was before that, because like, but they would send out iced tea with her on a lot of these interviews because like I just don't think she's someone who was meant to speak to camera,
right? Like
that, and like or speak, like have like a, you have to have a certain personality to pull that off, right? And like I just think that like most actors don't have that personality, and some actors, when we do see that personality, we start to not like them.
For sure, I think some of the most successful people are. And this is going to sound shady, but I don't mean it to be, like empty vessels. And I think this is why a lot of bland creators are just that, because you just project whatever it is you want onto that person. And almost the emptier, the better. Because if you want to believe that, like, person X is like an absolute sweetheart, then you're going to look for the moments where you think they're a sweetheart, whether they're a YouTuber or a, celebrity, whatever else it might be. And that empty vessels.
No, and also like I was talking about this the other night. Like, I was explaining, like, I have a hard time sometimes, like, distinguishing brunette men that I've met because I'm just like,
they are the same, man.
you could have one of 7 names. You know what I mean? Like, you're, you really only have, like, you know, one outstanding, like, hobby or career path or whatever. Like, and sometimes you can have a really good conversation with them, but you're just not registering it past, like, oh, this is a figure in front of me. Like, I always think, like, the most amazing quality, like, an aspiring actress can have, and I know that this is, like, probably taboo because we celebrate, like, unique features, especially, I would say. Like, but when you can meet someone over and over and over again and not recognize them because she can just change her hair, like, that's a gift. Like, to be such a blank slate that, like, I can't recognize you from, like, blonde to brunette to redhead. That's like, can you imagine? Like, I feel like I could spend 3 days in hair and makeup and I don't think you could, like, disguise me.
No, same. I have a very distinctive face, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I labored under the impression that I was, like, not unique looking, but I think I have quite an expressive face. And, like, I don't think you can really hide this, but there are people who are just, like, a blank slate.
Neither of us are plain.
No,
I think both
plain.
of us are. I think we're uniquely beautiful. I will say that truly about both of us because, I mean, you don't have a celebrity doppelganger. I don't think I have one. I don't know a single one. By the way, someone did tell me that they were bullying me. Like, people were bullying me by calling me Anna Delvey. And I was like, oh. So you guys have to point stuff like that out to me because, like, I don't know what's going on. So this is just a note for anyone who's listening. I, like, don't know what's going on.
I'm going to show you what I think is probably one of my favorite videos on the internet.
Please.
If you haven't seen it, I'm really excited to introduce it to you. I don't know how else to explain it other than it's an incredibly drunk man who is harassing his cat with a rendition of Kiss from a Rose by Seal, which I think is in the top 5 funniest songs ever made. Also, it's brilliant song. It's an incredible piece of music. Kiss from a Rose is a great ballad, but it's also very funny.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember the summer of that song so well.
Yeah, it's Batman Forever summer, as I recall.
It was also like Stay by Lisa Loeb. That was also an iconic, like, you couldn't get away from it type summer. Okay, I can't wait to watch this. Let's go.
If you've ever drunk sung to your kitties, and if you haven't, then read a book. And you'll
read a book. No, yeah, you have to sing to your animals. Like, if you don't have at least 3... Not just, like, you know, songs you made up. Those are easy. But, like, if you haven't, like, you know, adjusted the lyrics to at least a few songs for each of your pets, like, you're not living.
Animals.
There used to be a graying tower alone on the sea. You became a light on the dark side of me. Love remains a drug left behind of the pill. But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, a light is the gloom on the grave.
That's incredible. That's like one of the most beautiful videos I've ever seen. Are you kidding?
So joyful. And it, like, I very strongly recognize that energy because, like, I've drunk sung to cats that I've had and loved in my life and dogs. And it's very much that. Like, I just, I need them to know how much I love them. I think one of my top Googled things is how do I know that my dog loves me?
Yeah. I do that with cats too. It's like, and they're like, you kind of don't.
Yeah.
That's the answer. But like your dog does. That's if you get one guarantee with a dog, they love you.
Yeah, they do. They do. That what I like. What I love about this particular piece of media is like, you know where the peaks are going to be. You know that the baby is going to be the thing. So like you brace for it, and to see the cat react to it is quite something. And to see the cat walk off to the sort of sad, it's just like you couldn't have written it better.
So for anyone who's just listening, here's what you need to consider. So the cat was actually down with it at first.
Yeah,
like the
very
cat was down with it. And then things started to get a little kooky because he started to like hold the cat a little bit closer to him. And the cat's like, I don't know if I like this. And then once baby hit, that cat was like, get me the fuck out of here. And I also understand because sometimes I'll admit to have like restraining an animal to listen to me saying, like, I'm doing this right now. So like, you're just going to like listen. Also, this isn't abusive. It's a challenge for you, you know? And so that was perfect. And I'm glad he let go of the cat when he did. I'll also say 10 out of 10 on that because no one can blame him for wanting to hold on a little bit, but he knew when to let go, which, I mean, that's a man who loves his cat.
Okay, so onwards. I want to touch briefly on Piggate. I don't have a lot to share from this, but I don't know if you were on Twitter the day that my country found out that our prime minister had put his penis into the mouth of a pig.
So this is Black Mirror being true.
This is Black Mirror being true. There was a memoir by, I think he was like a House of Lords backbencher called Lord Ashcroft, who I think had gone to the same college as David Cameron, who was prime minister at the time. And he'd released his tell-all memoir, and this was one of the more explosive revelations, that as part of their kind of weird hazing of whatever was going on in this weird sort of Tory boy university, David Cameron had put his penis in the mouth of a dead pig. And the joyful thing was that everyone hated David Cameron, so we could all have a field day with it. And there were a lot of pictures of him that I think he'd done on a press call several years before of him holding a pig. So it just gave everybody a library of media to work with.
I'm blown away. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, this is the most insane thing I've ever heard. And like, I'm not bragging about our world leaders here. I'm sure most of them have done things like that. But if that got out, the country would explode.
Yeah. Yeah. There was like I don't know if David Cameron was part of the Bullingdon Boys, but the Bullingdon Boys were, I suppose, the equivalent of like a Skull and Bones, like an organization within, I think, one of the top universities.
Yeah.
And one of the Bullingdon Boys initiation rituals was to go and set fire to a £10 note in front of a homeless person, which Boris Johnson, our current prime minister, has done.
You know what? I mean, like, if there's one thing that's universal about politicians, is they're gonna have done stuff like that.
Yeah.
I actually would like admire someone if they just came out and said, these are my crimes and this is why you should vote for me. Like, I'm fucking Buck, dude. Like, I spent like the entire year of like 24 to 25 just like tripping out of my mind. Like, I used to smoke meth. Like, I want a presidential candidate who's doing that. I mean, bestiality, it does feel like there's a line there, but like at a certain point you're like, that's kind of metal. You know what I mean?
It was a dead pig.
It was dead. I know. So that's like
bestiality.
Yeah, normally that would be a double whammy for me, but like I am going to say that it's better because at least the pig didn't know.
Yes, I would agree. I would prefer the pig was dead. And I don't have any specific great tweets from that day other than, there are days on Twitter, and I hope, our new leader, Elon Musk, doesn't eliminate the fun from it, but there are days on Twitter that are just so fun. When something truly unhinged happens, I'm so excited to run to Twitter and see, like, what nonsense there is. It's less political since Trump is out of office, because I feel like that was too much. I couldn't deal with that.
It was way too much. Like, and the I mean, I have this reputation for being a hardcore lib now. I don't know if that's come out. And I am, but like not in a way that like I can't acknowledge that like super liberal people where it's like their personality on Twitter are not so fucking disturbed. Like, they're so disturbed. They love role play. Like, it's like insane. Like, the way that they like write about like what their fantasies of like how something's gonna go down. It's like you're sick. Like, they're still politicians, you fucking weird ass. Like, anyway.
But it's like, I remember this day being like a gift. So I have, I just wanted to mention Piggate in passing because it was so fun. And it was one of those days where I was like afraid to look away from my like phone for the day in case I missed like a particularly juicy meme or revelation. And shout out to all of those incredible weird days on Twitter. I think I would say like the guy vaping in the Amber Rose Johnny Depp trial is probably another one of those moments where everyone just goes and says,
loved
like,
that.
See that? Yeah.
I think more people should vape in court.
I'm
being honest. Like, that's going to bring another, like, it's always going to bring another layer. You want to see people in their natural resting state. And I know that for whatever side is calling the witness, that's not ideal. But, like, there's something so... Johnny's side rest, like, the other day? Like, his Amber's... They haven't started yet, right? But... yeah, I think there's like an authenticity to his witnesses where it kind of seems like a little island of misfit toys, you know? Like, he has this like kind of like cool eccentric life, and that's why he might do drugs, or you know what I mean? Like, but I'm going to say I'm going to respect a guy vaping in his deposition more than I respect almost anyone.
Yes. What a dude. Okay, so what's next? Alpha Chi. I think this is one of my last clips of the day. This is another one from like the archives, which is it's affectionately known as like crying sorority girl. The context for this, I don't have a huge amount of context, but essentially I think she does a prank and I think she's trying to join Alpha Chi, and her friend starts filming her in the car. This is way back in the old school days.
I know this is going to be incredible.
And the iconic line is, I'll sweep the floor. Like, she's trying to reconcile, I think, what she's done, and she still wants to be an Alpha Chi. And I think whatever the prank was, she wanted to make it snow. I don't know what that means. But anyway, I'll just play My Dear Sweet Angel. There's nothing I love more than, like, very drunk or very emotional white women. It's like, it's my kryptonite. It's my toxic trait. I'm always
I know. Well, I know. Okay, I feel you on that. I mean, I can't say that that's my kryptonite, but I do enjoy a festive person.
So, Elise, you're bawling right now.
Yeah, I know, and Alpha Guy hates me.
Okay.
Alpha Guy just wanted to make it snow, okay? I know, I did it, and I didn't mean to. I know parents have a big influence, but my dad did it, and I just wanted to do it too.
Okay, you're really sorry, and it was an accident.
I'm really sorry. You have no idea. So many people do bad things, and I didn't.
I'm sorry about the laugh.
No, I didn't mean to.
Well,
I
okay.
can't afford paying a fine.
Okay, but you know what? You're gonna get a fine. You're not gonna get kicked out. You're gonna get a fine.
Maybe I should just sweep. I'll sweep the floor.
It's not funny. Okay, you're gonna get a fine, and you're gonna, what else? You're gonna get a social probation or something.
I'll do whatever it takes to be an alpha guy.
Shut up. Okay.
Stop videoing. This is so bad.
I know.
I woke up everyone, okay? I didn't mean to. I just wanted it to snow. I didn't know. I thought it was going to be a poof.
Okay.
But it was a fucking hole.
Let's get into it. I mean, First of all, I'm so excited for Bama Rush next year. I hope. I mean, like, who knows who the emerging stars will be if that's over. Tiffany. Okay. Are you getting from this that, like, she hasn't fully registered the consequences, but she knows that they're so bad that the best attitude to play is, like, kind of comically crying? Because, like, maybe if, like, she's comically crying, that will get an edge back with the girls, but she's, like, that's, like, you know, that kind of drunk thinking. Like, do you think it's that?
No,
Or
I think Elise is fully wants to be an alpha Chi.
no, I
didn't
think she does. I
realize-
think she's being
yeah.
manipulative, though. Like, I think she's
Oh,
being
really?
manipulative within her drunken state.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's like, they don't think I'm cool, but maybe if I make, like, a really funny viral video of me being this hysterical and, like, putting in lines like, maybe I should have swept. If I had to guess what Make It Snow is, of course, your mind first goes to cocaine, but I can't imagine that, you know, she would be having that reaction because, like, I would assume she'd be on coke herself, right? Like, so she's not gonna have, like, she'd probably be more, like, hardened, like, whatever, I'm gonna start my own fucking sorority, right? But I think that probably what she did, because, like, this was something her dad did too. It sounds like there was a legendary
prank
story.
Yeah.
I feel like she either, like, ripped up a shit ton of toilet paper and sprinkled it from one of the upper, like, you know, sort of, what's it called? When you go into a house and you can, landing, right? But then I also think that she could have, like, brought something like cotton balls and, like, really, like, because, like, she's, you know, Greek is so dependent on legacy, and she seems like one of those legacies that, like, no one would want, but, like, they know that they have to at least get her to the second round.
Yeah.
Because, like, she really missed the mark on that one. Like, yeah, like, the girl who, she, like, literally threw a brownie in our pool before soccer practice. Or, no, soccer practice, before swim practice, sorry. Let me rephrase that. She threw a brownie in our pool before swim practice because she wanted us, which is, like, a bit from Caddyshack, right? But, like, it was that thing where, like, she was so socially unfavorable that it was like, this is odd coming from you. Because, like, you're not the type of, like, mean girl that could even pull off a prank like this. Like, it just looks desperado. And I'm guessing that that's what it was her being like, see, remember me, the legendary, like, Cotton Balls legacy, which probably is only a legend in her mind in like, the history of the frats and sororities at the school, because, like, that's the story that she and her friends grew up hearing, where that might not really so much be the case for the other people that she is trying to impress. I mean, I'm blown away by that. You're, like, hitting us. I mean, this isn't just, like, you know, I mean, they're all funny and very, like, you know, some are very silly, but there are some real thinkers in here. I gotta say,
like, to make us laugh and make us think. This is, yeah, it kind of doesn't have context, but I remember being sent this, and this is one of those things that, again, is like, oh, I don't know if we should be seeing this, like, somebody having a breakdown about, like, maybe not becoming an alpha Chi. It's just funny to me. Okay, so I have something I'd like to read to you, which is from the Goldman Sachs Elevator Twitter account, which is, I mean, trigger warning. If you don't enjoy a story with a scatological twist, this may not be for you. I was raised in a household where my mum thinks that someone shitting themselves is the funniest thing that could possibly happen.
Okay.
And I'm sorry about that.
I know there's, like, so many people who love that. So
I'm so sorry about this. There's something very abstract about it. So this was sent into, the Goldman Sachs Elevator, which is at GS Elevator on Twitter, which is kind of overheard or stories that people send when they want to expose some kind of inner workings of the investment banking world. And it starts because the highest level executives embark on a multi-city tour with their investment bankers to drum up support for the upcoming IPO. The trip is called a roadshow, and since the group will typically visit dozens of cities on a tight schedule, a private jet is the preferred means of transportation. During a roadshow, it's not unusual to visit 2 or 3 cities in a single day, so work starts at the crack of dawn. But this doesn't mean that the group goes to bed early. Every night, the bankers treat their clients to a wild night out in whatever town they're in, complete with $1,000 dinners and endless alcohol. No matter how hard the group parties the night before, the private jet will lift them off to their next destination the very morning. Just for a minute, pretend you're an investment banker traveling with some very important clients on one of your roadshows. Now imagine that you spent the previous night drinking way beyond your limit, only to be startled out of bed by a piercing 6:30 a.m. wake-up call in an attempt to get your head and body feeling remotely human again. You scarf down some waffles, eggs, bacon, and at least 2 glasses of coffee at the hotel's breakfast buffet before jumping on the shuttle to the private airport. Within a few moments of arriving at the airport, your entire group is seated and the plane begins to taxi down the runway. At this point, you might feel a bit of relief as the morning's blur subsides. All you have to do is sit back and relax for the 1-hour flight to the next city. There's just one problem. In a rush to get out of the hotel, down to the breakfast and onto the plane, you've forgotten to do one very crucial thing: go to the bathroom. And I'm not talking about peeing. You have a stomach full of dinner, dessert, eggs and waffles, and coffee churning around in your lower intestine at 30,000 feet. The following nightmare is a 100% verified story that happened to a very unlucky investment banker who was asked to remain anonymous for obvious reasons. So this is his account. Just over halfway through the flight, all the coffee in my stomach feels like it's percolating its way down my lower intestine. I hunker down and I try to focus on other things. What feels like an hour, but is probably no more than 20 minutes, passes. We then enter what turns out to be pretty violent turbulence. With each bounce, I have to fight my body, trying not to shit my pants. 30 minutes to landing, maybe 45. I try and tell myself, each jostle a gamble I can't afford to lose. So I signal to the flight attendant and she heads towards me. "Excuse me, where's the bathroom because I don't see a door?" I ask, while still devoting considerable energy to fighting off what starts to feel like someone took a seltzer bottle and shoved it up my arse. She asks me, bemused, and says, "Well, we don't really have one per se. Technically we have one, but it's really only for emergencies, and don't worry, we're landing shortly anyway." "I'm pretty sure this qualifies as an emergency," I mutter. I only see the fear in her face as she points nervously to the back seat. The turbulence outside is matched only by the cyclone that is raging in my bowels. She points to the back of the plane and says, "There, the toilet is there." For a brief instant, relief passes over my face. She continues, "If you pull away the leather cushion from that seat, it's under there. There's a small privacy screen that pulls up around it, but that's it." At this point, I was committed. I turn to where she's pointing and I get the urge to cry. I do cry, but my face is so tightly clenched that it makes no difference. The toilet seat is occupied by the CFO, i.e. our fucking client. Our fucking female fucking client. Up to this point, no one has observed my struggle or my exchange with the flight attendant. I'm so sorry. That's all I can say as I limp towards her. Of course, as my competitors see me talking to the CFO, they all perk up to try and find out what the hell I'm doing. Given my jovial nature and fun-loving attitude thus far on the roadshow, almost everybody thinks I'm joking. She, however, knows right away that I'm anything but and jumps up, moving quickly to where I've been sitting. I now had to remove the seat top. No easy task when you can barely stand upright. I managed to peel back the leather seat top to find a rather luxurious-looking commode with a nice cherry or walnut frame. It has obviously never been used, ever. Why this moment of clarity came to me, I don't know. Perhaps it was the realization I'm going to take this toilet's virginity with a fury that was an abomination to its delicate craftsmanship. I reach down and pull up the privacy screens, with only seconds to spare before I erupt. It's an Alka-Seltzer bomb. A Jackson Pollock, a masterpiece. The pressure is now reversed. I feel like I'm going to have a stroke. I'm so sorry. and my apologies do nothing to drown out the heinous noises that seem to carry on and reverberate around the small cabin indefinitely. If that's not bad enough, I have one more major problem. The privacy screen stops right around shoulder level. I'm sitting there, a disembodied head, in the back of a plane, on a bucking bronco for a toilet, all while looking at my colleagues, competitors, and clients directly in the eyes. I literally could reach out with my left hand and rest it on the shoulder of the person adjacent to me. It was virtually impossible for him or any others to avert their eyes. They squirm and try not to look, inclined to do their best to carry on and pretend as if nothing out of the ordinary was happening. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, is all the ashamed, disembodied head can say, over and over again.
I'm like in disbelief. Well, like, is that even legal on a plane to have a plane without, like, or to have a seat without the safety equipment? I mean, I'm not hating on this story. I feel like I am being the logic police a little bit.
Well, it's a seat because there would be a seatbelt strap next to it. But the problem is it's in the plane. There's no, like,
No, but like there has to be emergency gear that like when you know, like when they say like it's the stuff that you need for an emergency is technically under your seat. Right?
Oh yeah. I don't know because sometimes they have like flight attendants who have put down seats have their emergency gear in the overheads or they have it underneath.
Right. Well, it's good to know. I mean, I wonder did he say what airline it was?
Well, it wasn't because it was a private plane.
Oh, then forget it. Yeah, no, they definitely have a toilet like that. Yeah, no.
It's a tiny little private jet with like I just can't imagine what it's like to have to shit and look your colleagues in the eye because you're sitting behind a barn door.
Here's the thing is that like I would rather do that on a plane of like 12 people, even though I'll know those people for the rest of my life, because there's some people that are really good with like facial recognition. And like you could literally be on Tinder in like 12 years, like post divorce.
Yeah.
And like have someone be like, oh my God, no, I swear to God, that's the guy that shit on the plane. Like you can't, you're going out with that guy. Like, and then you like you don't want to talk about it, but like you can't help but judge the person for it. No, I think if I was in that situation, I would rather it be, despite it being a nightmare for my business relations, like there has to be at least a couple other people in the office who, if they don't appreciate the human nature of like accidentally shitting yourself, they would definitely appreciate like the humor in doing that. Although I mean, listen, I'm not scatological, honey. That's not necessarily for me. I'm fascinated by the details though of it. Like, Jesus, that's pigeon. What a scene,
What a scene. A disembodied shitting head is just, it's.
Why would they leave the face out? That the flight attendants wouldn't think that, like, in case the flight attendants thought they, like, were dying on the toilet or something?
I think it's, like, because it was probably never intended to be used.
Right.
But it was probably, like, a requirement because I'm imagining the plane is for, like, hour-long journeys and most adults can hold their bowels for an hour.
Yeah. Oh, you're so right. You're so right. Like, especially if there's, like J. Howard Marshall, like Anna Nicole's husband, like someone like that would probably use like a plain toilet, like there's a lot of, you gotta, usually you have to reach a certain station in life.
Yes.
And that takes some time for some.
Okay, I think this is our final video of the occasion, which is, I'm sorry, again, it's a little scatological, but it's called Disgusting.
I'm going to sing Cher Lloyd by Cher Lloyd or Rebecca G. Then. And don't forget all the trouble we got into.
Why does somebody not know how to flush a toilet after they've had a shit?
What do you mean?
Well, it was fucking one of yous. Disgusting!
Okay, what you need to know about this is that these are the most ginger children. It's like so unclear what child committed the crime. Because they look at each other after their mom leaves the room, and like there's such like a knowing sister look, don't you think?
Yeah.
I think it must have been the older sister, right?
Well, it turns out it was the older sister, but it
Yeah.
was like clearly being blamed on the younger sister. And I think that was years later. The older sister came out and said, "I did the shit."
Yeah, I mean, because someone did. Someone did. Oh my God. I love that. That's like, yeah, it's cultural history too. I mean, are those my people or are they Irish?
They're Scottish.
Oh, they're Scottish. Those are also my people. My last name's actually Scottish, but, you know, I do own my Irish heritage.
Well, they're very closely linked, those two things.
Yeah, but also like being from like there's really not like you're not part of a tribe if you're Scottish in the Northeast. Like you know, there's like Italians, they're a tribe, like Greeks are a tribe, Irish are a tribe. But like I think we're Scottish, but I think we just really leaned into the Irish. Okay, so what's next?
So I just want to finish up. That's everything. I just want to an in memoriam to Vine, because I think it very deeply shaped my humor. The things that I think are funny on the internet are now incredibly chaotic and without any context and very, very hard to explain.
And they gave us David Dobrik, everyone's favorite little slut,
Logan
little
Paul.
whore. Yeah, absolutely. We got to be thankful to that.
I want to give honorable mentions too. I have a basketball game tomorrow. Country boy, I love you. Free Shavakadu. 2 bros in a hot tub, 6 feet apart because they're not gay. Home for the Summer, which is probably my favorite Vine, but it's so hard to explain because it's entirely a visual joke. And if I explain it, it won't be funny, but we'll link to it. LeBron James. And also Milk Beep, which is an old lady carrying some milk who gets beeped at, which on the surface doesn't sound funny, but it is very funny.
Did she drop the milk?
Yeah, she like flings it in the air.
Tiffany, that's not funny.
It's so
She's an
funny.
elder. Are you making fun of fucking elders on this podcast, dude? Dude, we don't make fun of elders, dude. We have mad sympathy, even for some of the worst of them. You know what I mean? No, we like, believe it or not, this incredibly online, almost teenage skewing at time podcast we're elder appreciators. So yeah. I know you didn't mean it.
I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
I know you didn't mean it, but yeah. And who bought her milk? Did someone buy her milk? I mean, if someone bought her milk, if there was like an article that came out that was like, you know, viral TikTok or viral Vine star, like gets a year of hood milk for free. Like I would die. Like I would love that. Hood is an East Coast brand, by the way, for anyone who's wondering what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay.
I think that's the end of the presentation. Oh, and then I just wanted to give like some shout outs to like miscellaneous heroes. So like I love the friendship ended meme. Jesse Slaughter, consequences will never be the same. Harambe was a great time to be on the internet. BBC News Girl and my boy Antoine Dodson. So
I felt like Jesse Slaughter and Kiki Cannibal have both have like Lifetime movies coming their way for so long.
They should.
And I've brought up those stories in like so many development meetings and people are like, I don't know. And it's like, I don't think you get it. Like some fucking emo girl joins the internet. And then like, especially with Jessie Slaughter, like the fallout it had on her life, you know? Let's write a Lifetime movie.
Okay. I'm down. I'll do it
I think
now.
we should.
That's it. In summary, yes.
You loved that. No, it was real. Honestly, okay, so I learned.
Okay,
I was
tell me what you learned.
Well, I was terrified that something was going to be sci-fi because, like, I don't understand science fiction, and I was terrified that it was going to be, like, I don't know why, because, like, I feel like you're interested in things that, like, I don't even know how to be interested in them because I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I'm just never going to understand. Like, you know, so first of all, I was so glad we were on the same page about everything. Some of my favorite moments were, I mean, I'm going to be thinking about that Reddit for a really long time. that Reddit's probably going to stick with me for a very long time. And I think you're right in that. But here's the thing. I don't want you to have to go buy a whole prime rib, because I feel like in order to even get the idea, and like, I think that you would need to look up like what the traditional, is it like a 1/4 inch serving? Like, what is the traditional inchage on a prime rib piece that is supposed to be in like the, rare district? But then, and also I wonder if that guy's even like, doesn't even know how to eat meat. You know what I mean? And if like, it's really that rare, if he's just a child, because he does sound like a little bit like a child. I mean, there was really nothing I didn't enjoy or grasp onto. I mean, the sorority video I'm going to think about a lot, because I always think about sororities. Like, how did they do it?
Same.
I loved, the video compilation of yourself. And did you say on here already that, like, the guy that you were saying you had a crush on is literally your husband now?
Yes.
Did you say that on here?
I don't know if I mentioned that, but the Billy in question is the Billy.
It's it's your man's. So like, that was we love a good foreshadow. And like, it was just, I thought it was great. It was totally relatable. If you are listening to this and you I think you should see the visual slideshow. That's like an incredibly important element of it. I think we did our best of describing for someone who's just listening on audio, but the slideshow itself will be available at least on our Patreon. I'm probably going to try and figure out a way to make it more widely available, because I think you guys deserve that.
Yeah.
But Tiff,
but the slideshow itself, we'll link to, and you can click through it as you can play along, and you can play the videos at the same time.
Okay, wait. So that's actually, that's way better. Like, well, you can see video of us like reacting to it, but no, like truly, this is very enjoyable. Tiffany, this was like, I don't know. I don't even know how I would put something like this together, because like, you clearly have such like a rich internet history. Like,
so do you though.
Yeah, but like, I don't even know if I remember some of my favorite moments. Like, I would have to really, I've had so many computers that have like died, and like, I don't know what my fave links are. And like, a lot of it's just like my own face swaps that I figured out how to do on Snapchat that were like absolutely insane. Like switching my face with my lady on my Starbucks cup, like that sort of thing. Yeah. So, okay, I did get you a Prezi.
Oh my God.
And this is long overdue. I think everyone can agree this is long overdue. I don't have a link for you, but I'm just going to play it for you now.
Oh, Tony, baby, you're a mess.
Bitch.
Thank Grimes, it's Tuesday. It's time for Glenn Rightly. Are you ready? The trending news podcast for anyone who is literally not an absolute virgin. Extremely online, extremely clueless, horny for Bitcoin.
Oh, baby.
You're in the right place. Now it's time to meet your host, the Irish-American Tornado, and the real Princess of Wales.
We are back.
Molly McAleer and Tiffany Maddox.
I love it.
Babe, what do you think?
I love it.
Did Billy tell you?
Fully and great. No, he didn't.
Okay, because I figured you wouldn't do a spoiler alert. Not a spoiler alert, just a regular spoiler. Because I was like, I'm like, I want to get Tiffany something, but I knew you were traveling. He said you love flowers, which everyone in the audience, listen the fuck up, okay? Tiffany loves flowers, but I knew you were going to be gone. And I know how like weird it can be. Trust me, it's January 10th. I know how weird it can be to get like a present like 8 days after your birthday. And I'm not going to send it to you before you go camping. Although I do think that you'd totally be the type to bring flowers that you got camping.
I would.
However, we've been long overdue for a new intro. And I reached out to the guy that did our first intro, and I said, we love what you did. It's become a part of, that's what you always hope for with like a radio sort of like plug or drop or intro like that, is you always hope that it's something that you hate the first time you listen to it, but then it becomes a part of you, you know? And so that's what, he had done this original music that was a little bit too like slow for me, and I said, no, our listeners are used to getting punched in the fucking face. And we need to maintain that, but I want to incorporate a little bit of the new brand, because when I first got that other intro, I was like, I don't fucking know. Like, I like wrote out like 60 words, because that's our limit. So I like wrote out like 60 words really quick. This is basically the intro that you and I co-wrote earlier. I did say no cartoon noises, like no noises that sound like a sexy duck, like making commentary. I said like light on Will Ferrell, and like he took that very like, you know, he just was like, okay, no Will Ferrell, which I appreciated, because truthfully I wanted to say that, but I know people love Will Ferrell, but I just didn't, you know. And then also no child noises, because this is not a podcast that's for, I mean, if you're listening to this, we're NC-17, honey. Don't you agree?
100%.
So do you like it? Do you want to hear it one more time?
I do. I love it. I want to hear it one more time.
I mean, I do too, because I only listened to it once, like out of fear. So I want to listen to it together one more time. The bark.
Tony, baby,
Love the bark.
you're a mess. Thank Grimes, it's Tuesday. It's time for Trend Lightly. Are you ready? The trending news podcast for anyone who is literally not an absolute virgin.
That's the line right there.
Online, extremely clueless, horny for Bitcoin.
Oh, baby.
You're in the right place. Now it's time to meet your host, the Irish-American Tornado, and the real Princess of Wales.
We are back.
Molly McAleer and Tiffany Maddox.
I love it.
You guys better get used to it, because that's your new intro. So no, but isn't that fun?
It's so fun.
And I'll probably like figure out something more personal. Maybe I'll send you an Adam and Eve discount. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe I'll do something like that. As a true internet friend, like the Trisha Paytas in me wants to send you like an Adam and Eve gift card. Absolutely. But no, Tiffany, this was the best. Like, thank you so much for taking this time to put this together. And like, I'm also like, happy birthday, bitch. We're so thankful for you. How lucky are we that Tiffany is a part of the show? And like, how lucky are we that like to know Tiff? Like, it's very wild. It's very wild.
I love it. I think like, I don't know. I'm going to be, this is my like traditional like birthday gifting of it all, but I'm going to like gift you something in earnest back, which is
Don't
like,
do that.
Doing the show has been so fun. It is like the funnest part of my week that I get to speak to you like every week, and we get to talk shit. And I adore you. I absolutely adore you. I think you're the funniest person. And if I was like reflecting every year when it's my birthday, I like to reflect. I'm like, what have I learned? What have I done? What have I not done? Like where do I need to be? One of the things I'm most grateful for this year is you. Like, you're in my
I'm gonna
life.
cry, but like also I can't. Like Tiffany, I received that. Received that.
Good.
No, because like I can't even. Oh my god, this is like my childhood trauma is not letting me receive this. But like I want you to know that I comprehend and understand it.
Yeah.
And I'm very moved by it. Like I can't even open my eyes right now. But I love you so much. Thank you. Like thank you for everything. Like generally, and also for being you. And like I feel the exact same way. And yeah, like. You know, stop being so obsessed with me. Like we can't.
Never.
Tiffany, like you're like totally obsessed with me. No, I can handle the nice things you just said. I love you and thank you, and I feel the same way. And like, I'm gonna cry. So don't do it. And I love you. And maybe you want that out of me, like you little sick motherfucking Scorpio rising. Like maybe or moon. Like maybe that's what you want out of me.
Yeah, I'm deranged. And
But
that's what I wanted.
No, I love you and thank you. And shout out to Billy for literally introducing us, because I just was like, and shout out to Billy's yellow coat, because like I literally would have never no, I'm not kidding, I would have never like thought. I was just like, oh, he seems like a friendly guy, he's verified, like he seems like he can speak on camera. Little did I know I had met Billy. Which is like so sick of me. Like, talk about all brunette white guys sort of like registering on the same level to me until I have like a palpable memory with them. But God bless. Like, what a fucking fortuitous pairing. Like, I don't even know what to say. If you guys don't know me well, you won't think I sound sincere, which is like a chronic lifetime problem of mine. But I'll definitely cry like when we hang up.
Yeah.
I love
I
you
mean,
so much.
I love you the most. You've taught me so many good things. You've taught me about like you are the funniest person I know. You've taught me a lot
Tiffany!
about myself, and you make me feel like I don't know. There's a ballsiness to you that's the energy I absolutely need in my life, and so I want to suck it up with a little straw in your brain.
I'm very impressed by you constantly. I mean, I'll just say that. Like, there's no area in your life in which I'm not like, oh my God. Like, how cool would it be to be like that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, you just have like all these like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you also like are able to do so, like you figure out a way to do so much. And the fact that like working this, we are lucky that we're like very online. You know what I mean? And so like doing this was like easy in that sense, but like the fact that you like take time in your life, especially when I like hear about the bigger picture of everything you're doing, and I also see like how well you do it, I'm just like, yeah, I feel very, very fortunate. And I also think you're like the sweetest friend. Like, we don't even know each other that well, but we're people that can like just be like, okay, here's the situation I'm dealing with, and it's like, okay, I totally get that.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I feel like we both are very like vulnerable in the same way. So we probably are like subjected to a lot of the same like shitty behavior.
Yeah.
And also feel really bad about it a lot. So yeah, no, but also no, you are the funniest, and I think you're so smart. Like, every week that we get on microphone, I'm like, oh my God. When I re-listen to our episodes, I'm like, Tiffany's the smartest person I know. And I'm so lucky because I'm such like a fucking bimbo. So like everything you said means the world to me because I just don't even like, I don't even know how to like process it. But I love you beyond. Please have the most fun in your camping trip.
Thank you.
I hope
and
no
thank you for letting
bears
me do this
find you.
episode of like internet shit because it was so fun, and I hope that everybody listening enjoyed it.
Are there bears in your country?
No.
You don't have bears?
No.
Wait. There's no bears in your country?
No, they all died out. There's a place you can go in Bristol actually, where they've reclaimed forest and they've rewilded, and it's like bears and wolverines and wolves, and it's like places. Yeah.
There's no bears in your country. No, wait, I actually was kind of kidding. Like when I was like, do you guys have freedom of speech? But like, I actually also meant that too. Like, you literally don't have bears?
No.
What do you have like tigers?
No.
Do you have, well, tigers was a stretch, but okay. What do you have? Like, what's your scariest animal?
Humans. No, I don't think there is anything.
Tiffany.
Stop. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, God bless.
No venomous snakes, no real venomous no venomous spiders. It's like such a nothing.
You're telling me you don't have bears?
No bears.
Wow. Animal bears. You know what I mean? I know there's some bears.
There's a lot of bears.
But not like, are you kidding? I'm like blown away. You guys, if you needed to learn something today, there's no bears. And what is it? England? The entirety of the nation?
UK. Yeah, none.
I'm going to like start flexing that fact. I literally don't think people know that. I don't think people know that. Oh my God, you guys, there's no bears in all of England. That's fucking okay. You guys, thank you so much for listening. Tiffany, thank you so much for this incredible presentation. You're so special to me. I can't wait for our new intro that properly honors you, the real Princess of Wales. Please feel free to TikTok. You know, if you want to do some glamping on TikTok.
I will.
So people will have an opportunity to enjoy that.
To see my country. Yeah.
See your country with no bears. Like, what's your biggest threat when you're camping? Wolves?
Cold.
You have wolves?
The cold. No wolves, no.
Wild hogs?
No hogs. Rapists.
Yeah, well, that's like, no offense, they have those everywhere, but are you kidding me? Like, that's like, I'm on a new planet. I'm fucking Dua Lipa right now. I am levitating. Like, that's nuts. You have no fucking animals. That's like the big thing. Okay. Wow. Well, you guys, thank you so much for listening to Trend Lightly. Please go wish Tiffany can they do it on Instagram, Maddox Creative Studio?
Yeah.
What is it, your 35th?
35th.
It's a good birthday. It's not like your 30s are still like your 30. I mean, I'll say I'm like a few years older than you, babe. Like your 30s are beyond divine. Like in a way that like I hate to admit it. Like I hate to say like all those fucking bitches on Oprah were right. Like all those women who have said that. I'm not calling them bitches, but you know what I mean? Like these are people that I didn't want to believe when I was younger. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm so sure. Like, of course you say that. Like, what else do you have to do in life except like lie to yourself? Like, I very much had that attitude. But no, your 30s are fucking lit. Like, they are really good because you know who you are. And I think it's so cool that you have an American husband who like, this is like one thing that I related to Tiffany with off the top. And like, at a certain point, I started lying to myself and being like, they must have like a untraditional marriage or something, whatever. You know what I mean? But no, I respect the fuck that like that's like a dream. That's a dream marriage that you figured out. Everyone should like look to Tiffany as an example. And yeah. Okay, you guys.
We love you.
Love you more. Thank you for, and by the way, you did an amazing job introing the episode.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for all your hard work, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.